Senator Chuck Grassley asked this past Tuesday of Elena Kagan during her confirmation hearings, does our right to keep and bear arms come from the Constitution, or is it granted by God? I think what he's asking is, does God want you to have a gun? You're watching The Punk Patriot. Okay, so that's not really what he said. What he actually said is this.
Do you believe that the Second Amendment codified a pre-existing right, or was it a right created by the Constitution?
Senator Grassley, I've never really considered that question as to whether the Second Amendment right.
Well, it's basic to our Declaration of Independence. It says we're endowed by our Creator with certain individual rights. Among them, you know what it says. And we aren't endowed by our government. So the question here is, are we endowed by our Constitution with this right, or did it exist before the Constitution existed? I know the Declaration of Independence is not the law of the land, but it does express the philosophy of why we went to war and why our country exists. And you understand, I hope, that if we're endowed by our government with certain rights, the government can take them away from us. Whereas if we possess them ourselves and give them up from time to the government to exercise in our stead, then the government can't take away something that's inherently ours.
On the face, that might seem pretty stupid, but it actually raises an interesting philosophical question, which is, do our rights come from the government, or are they something inherent within us, something inalienable, endowed to us by our Creator, as the Constitution puts it? Something that just by being a human being, you have these rights. Now, this is a question that I've tried to tackle before, well, apparently not very successfully. You can click, I don't know where it'll be, it'll probably be right here. I'm going to have a little link to my other video where I try to tackle that issue. But the problem is that he's putting a dichotomy where there isn't one. Now, I've thought about this extensively in the past, and here's the conclusion that I've come to. All rights are granted to us in law by government because those of us who know that they're inalienable force the government to grant them to us by refusing to give them up. Senator Grassley, did I just blow your mind? Maybe I should be appointed to the Supreme Court.